Hi, I had to come outside because I had to have you see what's going on. This is the first day in since I've been up in Montana, where where my family's from. Um, it's been smoky, a lot of fires and hot, a lot of stuff going on. And then the smoke broke yesterday, and now it's cold and rainy. It's just beautiful, and it just
Oh
feels really nice today.
my gosh.
So,
Your travel's just so amazing. What are you
ah,
doing?
just going where I'm being called.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
good. And it's lovely to see you.
I
So it's
know you
so
too.
it's like nearly 11:30 here, and so my kids are asleep, and I'm just like, I actually put clothes on because I had had to get dressed, especially. So yeah, I was really looking forward to speaking to you because there's just so much going on.
I
Isn't
know.
there? There's just so much going on, and I remember last time we talked on the phone, it was almost
Yes.
like we didn't even have to speak because we were kind of like, I think we were doing some kind of telepathy thing. It was like, I know,
Yes.
without even finishing sentences. And our
Yes.
journeys are just so aligned. Like
I
we
know.
seem to be just on this parallel thing. So where should we start?
Well, you know what? I'd like to go off of that, what you were just talking about this parallel thing is I have been blown away that every time I have like an epiphany or something pop up, swear if I go on your page, I see you talking about the same thing.
No way.
So it's so cool to watch. And to me, it's proof that whatever's up there, because I don't need to really fully understand. I don't care about understanding. I used to really care,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like whatever it is, God, creator, source, the energy of the universe.
Mhm.
I believe that we are getting messages constantly, and when you're open to receiving, when you're listening to these messages, that's what I see. I'm seeing people from all over the world that I feel connected to. We are getting similar messages at the same time.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah. And
So
we're activating each other. Like activation is my word. I'm even
yeah.
describe myself as that because they're just labels. But I'm like every single conversation we have like this, we
Yes.
activate each other
Yes.
and it's rippling out because everyone is doing this and we're just getting excited about this time. And
Yeah.
some people don't understand our excitement because they're like, we need to be
It's
scared.
crazy out
But
there.
it's
Yeah.
but it's
Totally.
epic. It's just epic.
Yeah. So I guess what I was already okay, so this is something weird. I've been having conversations with people in my head a lot. So this is
Like
really weird.
what?
Well, I was already playing our conversation in my head
All right, all right.
before. Yeah. So
We
I
done it
know.
already.
I know. We've right?
Hi.
We've yeah. Um so something that I was really thinking of that we are really parallel on that I've seen shift is, well, first off, we met last year and we were looking around at the world around us, and we were like kind of coming alive and waking up to it and being like, this is weird, what's going on? And first there was a bit of fear and like, what the heck is this? And I noticed, you and I and there are other people that at some point late last year or early this year, we were all kind of a little bit in different at different times, but around the same time
hmm
we decided that fear is not
hmm
reality.
hmm
And I thought it was so cool when we started, and so that's been something that to me has been really huge. That, and the also coming back to being human, our
Yeah, feeling,
spirituality bringing us
feeling.
back to our bodies, our
Yes.
physical bodies,
hmm
which so many of the spiritual communities, I know my spiritual process so much was about trying to be better than human, trying not to be human, like
Trying to
like
escape being human.
I know, kind of hating my physical body or certain things about it not being perfect, or whatever,
Oh my
or
God.
the
Yeah.
or the pleasures of the human body and all that kind of stuff. And
Oh
now
yeah. I
I've
like that
never
subject. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've never loved being human so much in my
Oh,
whole
me
life.
too. Me too. It's just so beautiful. Every single bit of it, every tear,
Yes.
every
Yes.
everything, every bit of pain. I'm just like, bring it the fuck
Bring
on.
it.
Yeah, that's what I think. But
Yeah.
the key to that is, and I mean, me coming from being a law of attraction coach as well, and it's all valid because I
Yes.
think we had to go along this journey. It's not
Yes.
wrong.
Yes.
But it's come back to feeling everything, experiencing. It's the human experience, and to me, it's like, oh, I know. I like to think of it as like, oh, I know. In this universe, what would I like to experience? I want to go on the like a theme park. I want to go on the human experience. So we just
Yeah.
drop in, and then we're just trying to bypass it all because it doesn't feel good. And we're like, let's think positive, la 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 la.
La la la.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been noticing the beauty in all of it for me, and that
Oh,
shifted probably same time as you, I think. We just sort of, but it has been linked to loving our bodies, don't you think? Like loving
yes.
ourselves more, and just
Yes.
softness, and the it's softness,
Yeah.
femininity, they're open to receive, like you say. That,
Mm.
yeah, I love that you
I,
get it. I love that
oh,
you just get it.
I love that you get it. I love seeing every single one of your posts just completely resonates with me, and it makes me feel good and yummy in my body, and it activates me rather than, last year was the beginning. I followed every account that was talking about the truth, listen to
Yeah,
the truth. And I was following them. And like last year, I was paralyzed in fear for so much of the year, just terrified out of my mind. But I'm like, I don't want to put my head in the sand. So I got to know what's
yeah.
going on.
Mhm.
And then, I just started unfollowing any of the accounts that made me feel tons of fear, that I could
Yeah.
tell they were caught in a lot of fear.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's good
Uh,
to be informed, and I say informed because informed of what? Because there's all these different narratives. And now I'm
yes,
thinking, the way I think of it is I've got an energy field. Everything out there is Shakespeare's stage, and
yes,
I am watching it like a
yes,
movie. And I don't know about
yes,
you, but at the moment there's a level of awareness. My awareness seems to be so heightened that whatever's happening in my reality, I'm like, whoa, that happened. Like the other day, I was making cacao with a friend and it blew up. Like I put it in the NutriBullet, it blew up. And I thought, what? That happened now compared to it not. Like these little timelines,
yes,
every second
yes,
is a choice.
yes, yes, yes,
And I'm like aware of every second without judgment, not thinking,
yeah,
oh, well, I attracted it. Well, we
yes,
do. But it's like
yes,
everything is just happening for us. And every so often
yes,
I feel like I'm just like, glimpsing that, and then I come back into, and it's
yes.
just in and out and in and out. But this awareness is potent, and it's even more with my sexual energy, which I'm working on, like we've talked about. I'm
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
oh, on fire, and I just feel so powerful.
I feel so powerful, and I also, this is especially the past 3 weeks, I feel hypersexual.
So do
Like,
I.
I'm like, what? Everything feels sexual and
Oh my
sexy, and it's
fruit, I'm not
so.
that.
It is. I have never. I feel so much in my body, but it feels so
mm,
grounded.
it's so
So much. Oh,
real, really. It's human. And I
yeah.
think it's this kundalini, and I don't particularly use
Yes.
the word
Yeah.
kundalini because, but it's this life force, it's this aliveness. This is
Mm-hmm.
what it's like to be alive
Mm-hmm.
and awake in
Yes.
the human
Yes.
experience. And I'm like,
Yes.
I'm loving being human. Isn't like
Yes.
this? And we haven't even started yet. I mean, we're only a year into
I,
this.
we're babies in this. So my
Yeah.
friend Alexandria is saying, "Me too, me too." She's going through the same thing.
Yeah, the
So,
sexuality piece. I mean, even the
oh,
word sexual, it's energy, isn't it? And oh, well, I've got so much to say on that, but I'll have to talk another time because it's just
yeah.
the whole journey is epic. But
Yes.
it's only been the last 2 days where I'm thinking. Today I did an Osho meditation and I was smashing the shit out of some cushions because it's part of it,
Mm.
and I was going, ugh, ugh, ugh. And I was like, oh, I myself thinking, this is
Oh,
amazing.
oh
Oh.
my
and
God.
and
I
I was
love it.
laughing to myself myself thinking I'm not actually angered because I've shifted a lot after reading that book, Existential Kink. Is about
Yes.
looking at getting
Yes.
off on our shadow, basically. And I'm just looking at it, switching everything into turn on, but not in a way that, you know, I necessarily want to go out with another person. It's like
Yes.
aliveness, this rapture, as that pussy book.
Yes. Well, here's the coolest part about it is in my younger years, when I did, in certain aspects, when I did feel alive or when I was compensating and I felt sexual energy coming up, I didn't know how to deal with it. I had to, I had to experience it by having sex with somebody, not every time, but enough that if it didn't happen, like if something didn't work out with a guy or something, I would feel an intense letdown, an
Like a
intense total
frustration,
drop.
or you're not good
Yeah.
enough.
And so now when that energy comes up, that sexual energy, like, you know, whatever something comes up, like I would love to have sex with like the right person, like just, but right now it hasn't happened. So I've been taking this energy out into nature and like driving it into things. And so there's no letdown. It's always this constant, like in it.
Wow, I need you to expand on this because I need this right now because
Oh,
I keep slipping into frustration, like that ego desire frustration. But the times I don't, that's when I feel like I could literally stand naked in a forest and put my hands out and go right, and there could be electrical lightning bolt coming from my hands. Like that's how powerful I feel. I feel this wild.
amazing.
I've never felt this powerful in my life, and
Same.
I've claimed recently. I've claimed the healer part of me, which I haven't. That word's a bit funny anyway, but I can do this. I can do things. I'm claiming these gifts. You know, it's really,
Yes.
it's really important.
Yes.
But yeah, all of this. Yes, keep going.
Oh, well, I'd love to share a little bit about what my travels, what's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so this has been, I've known for a long time that my role in my family, I've always known I'm meant to be one of the instigators, one of the black, I wouldn't say I'm black sheep, but like definitely a healer in my family. And I came here to heal lineage lines.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is I was doing it in my mom's family because I have always felt much more connected to my mother's family.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, because she has a lot of very, 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 very powerful women. Very. I know I have tons of witches in that line. Very old, ancient. My mom's maiden name is Davidson, old Scottish clan, big time Celtic
Wow.
roots. So I've always felt very connected to them, and I felt very disconnected to my father's family. And my father came from a very, very powerful woman. Her maiden name was Hadcock, so super Irish.
Mm.
And I had never met the Hadcocks side of my family. And they all live up here in, I don't know about how much you know about the United States, but Montana is wild country.
Wow.
Wild. Like, and so the people who come here, they are tough, strong. And so like the Hadcocks are these tough, strong survivors, a lot of hunters. They hunt their own food, they have land and just like, and
Wow.
so I've been knowing I wanted to meet the Hadcocks. And I've never met any of them. And I felt very disconnected from the side of my family. And so this whole year has been one after the other. In February, I went up to go see my cousin on my mom's side and was doing lineage work on my mom's side with my cousin in February. Stayed up there with her for 2 months almost. We went to Mount Shasta, which is
Wow.
potentially one of the most powerful,
Mm-hmm.
powerfully energetic
Yeah.
spots in northern North America.
Yeah. The world, I
So
would say, to be honest. Yeah.
possibly doing huge work there, just been listening and traveling and everything. And then about a month and a half ago, crazy things came up where I haven't bartended in over a year. Thought I would
Mm-hmm.
never bartend ever again. Had somebody reach out and say, "Hey, do you want to bartend a festival in Montana?"
Wow.
And then at the same time, had a friend that I met in Mount Shasta a new person, hadn't talked to him
Right.
in months, had just exchanged numbers with him. He reached out and said, hey, I'm coming to Southern California. I'd love to meet up. We hadn't seen each other since Mount Shasta. It didn't work out. But then he went to go stay with a friend's farm in Montana, and said, hey, would you like to come visit?
No way. In flow. That is just like perfect sync. This
That's
is how
it.
life needs to be right now. Drop
Yes.
in, drop in, drop in, the nudges.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to do that today. Just, there's no need to plan. This is my
Yeah.
opinion. Like,
Yes. I
just
agree.
living in the now. It's the
I
now.
agree. This moment. I agree.
And you feel
So,
that, like the
oh,
past, yesterday, it's like, what was yesterday?
yeah.
Sometimes it just,
And there is no future.
no.
There's no future because
Mm-mm.
we don't know it. There's so many potentialities happening every
every
time
every second
that
determines that as well.
literally the only thing that matters is what am I doing in this exact moment? And it doesn't even have to be anything profound.
No,
It's just
but
like
that's the thing.
what?
I've been washing up, and it's like I'm actually looking forward to washing up because washing the dishes. Just been actually
Yes.
enjoying it. Links back to that presence, and I think that's what it's
Yes.
like with the sexuality too, because it's not. It's when you start this work of you're just present with your body, even if it's just looking at your hand and just
Yes.
doing something,
Yes.
and you're present with the
Yes.
feeling. And it's almost, we link it to sex. A lot of the time when we were younger, it was like, oh, we have sex for an outcome. It was always for an outcome.
Yes.
And
Yes.
everything, manifestation, the whole
Always for an
journey
outcome.
for an
Always.
outcome. Let's try and manifest this vision board, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
actually, it's a case of let's just open to receive and allow. And
Yeah.
then it gets to be it just gets to be the best possible time.
Yes.
And it's so exciting because we don't have to know everything. We don't have to try and force it, plan it,
No.
make it
Mm-mm.
happen. It's just exciting to just anticipate what's going to show up. And
Yes.
look how beautiful it's been with that, that guy
Oh.
and everything. Just so, how are the family? Like, how are they?
Oh. Being in Montana has helped me understand why I never fit in my whole life in Southern California.
Wow.
I like there were elements I really desperately tried. I tried to fit in Los Angeles. There were pockets of people that I fit in with, but really for the most part I never felt right. I was a country bumpkin of a kid being raised in the suburbs and I never fit in. Other kids were playing video games. I was climbing walls and trees and stealing fruit from people's backyards and like this like wild child. And so now that I'm in Montana, now that I've met now several families, like it just worked out. So before I left, I asked my dad, can you call my uncle Bill? Can you call your brother? Because he lives in Idaho, which is nearby, and he knows all these people's information. And I just said, before I left, I said, I talked to my Uncle Bill and I said, can you get me their information? And he didn't for a whole week. And I just thought, oh, whatever happens. And then he sent me an entire list of all these people. So they're all my dad's cousins. And I've been meeting one after the other. And
Wow.
they are so so I've been meeting my dad's cousins like kids who are my age, right? Um, and it feels like I could have grown up with them. It feels so. One of my dad's cousins, Julie, I call her Aunt Julie now. Like I, we're like the same person, which
Wow.
is so
Are
crazy.
they, are they on the same sort of page with,
100%, 100%.
God?
Which is not true for all of my family. I have a decent amount of family who is, but they are what, because here's the thing about Montana. Montana's not very political. Won't give a crap. They are 100% libertarian. And I don't know if you guys have the word libertarian in the UK.
No, but I think I know. I've never been into politics anyway, but I think I get what you mean.
Libertarian is the least government possible.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you dare tell me what to do.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
they have the most in Montana. They have the most guns per person.
All right, I
in
see.
all of,
Wow.
so
It's so funny because it reminds me of Scotland. Even when you're talking about it, it reminds me of that
yes,
strong energy, like that, because
yes,
they're kind of like warrior, not
yes,
maybe not
big
warrior,
time.
but
A
kind of
lot of
like the
a lot of them.
warrior energy. Yeah.
Yeah, living off the land. I mean, it's freezing
Mm.
cold up here. You know, it's snowing like a lot of the year, and so many of them hunt. They hunt elk, and I've been eating elk burgers since I've been here, which is delicious, by the way. Um, which is funny that's a whole other thing. I used to be vegan as a part of my spiritual path for so long, and my body finally was like, nope, nope, stop it, you're
Mm.
hurting me.
Yeah. Oh well.
uh,
Yeah. You have. We have to follow our body. We have to follow
yes,
our bodies.
have
There's a
to.
lot of thought about that, and I'm on my own journey with things. I mean, nature and also environment because oh,
Yes,
it's a big subject, but yeah, it's good. It sounds amazing. I'm so
it,
pleased for you. Like
yeah,
it's so exciting.
it's just following, and and every day and every time my brain tries to wander. So what's interesting, I never think of the past anymore. Every
Yeah.
now and then my brain will try to wander to the future, but it's gotten a lot easier to bring
Mm,
it to the
hasn't it?
present.
Hasn't it just? And
Yeah,
and so because the last time we spoke, well, was it? We've only met. We haven't met. It's only this year, I think.
I
We
know.
connected, but
Yeah,
I think we've had such similar conversations with running our businesses, and
yeah,
at the same time we were having these realizations of what am I doing trying to do the way everyone else is doing. And also I've watched you as well, and maybe you've observed me, but it's almost like
yes.
fucking off everything I've ever learned on every course, every coach, and then suddenly thinking all I need to do is be me.
Yeah,
All I need to do is be me. And I'm
yeah,
watching you be more you every single day, and I'm just
yeah.
like, look at her. Like, look at her.
Same.
Just look at her. I don't have any. I'm just like, wow, look at this woman. I am just like that emoji, just
Yeah,
woo!
same to you. Same.
Honestly, just
No.
you're amazing, and you're amazing, and you just so just your energy. It sounds funny when people say energy, but you know what I mean. It's just
Yeah.
like real and it's just I feel like it's just you're just being you and you're doing what you want to do in the moment. More and more. Whereas a few months ago, not even months, yeah, maybe a few months ago, we were both kind of trying to think too much, and I
Yes.
feel that it's
Yes.
actually the less thought, the better. Just let's see what happens today.
Yes. Yeah. And and then we even kind of came to this idea at the same
Oh,
time about what we post on our social media too.
yeah,
I
not
am.
having to make it look pretty. Let's just, just
Yeah.
bang things out. Really,
Yeah.
let's just because I get so enthusiastic that I'm just, I'm just, I'm not saying that it's wrong to make things look nice and stuff. It's whatever feels good. But my mind tends to work so fast. I get so much drop in that I
Yes.
can't worry about that anymore. I just need to. It's almost like a
Yeah.
sense of urgency. Like no,
Yes.
there's urgency now. I just need to be me. Hi, and I'm still holding back in so many areas. Don't get me wrong. I'm not by
Yes.
any means completely my highest
Same.
potential. I'm
I have
operating on
so much
about
more. Yeah.
20% of my highest potential at the moment, I think. Not even that. I'm just but it's baby steps, and I think it's getting quicker and quicker. And so
Mm.
with your work at the moment, I know you're doing a lot of bartending. How's the
Mm.
is that the
Oh,
last conversation we had, you explained to me what it was you were doing, and
yes.
I was just, my mind was blown. I was telling someone today, actually, no, last night I was telling someone about you being able to tell from someone the way that they make a sound or the way that they
Yes.
sing. You can tell so much about them. The way that I'm kind of like that with feet, because I've studied reflexology, and I've suddenly started going back doing it, realizing that I can sense
Wow.
so much about someone by the feet. But so you're the voice, and
Yeah.
how is that going?
Well, I knew that this trip, I knew however you want to call it, I just call it downloads. I knew that this trip would give me a ton of downloads, that I'd get a ton of information, and that I would become an even better teacher, healer, whatever you want to, facilitator, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so and what's really cool, I took the first 2 weeks off while I've been traveling. And then I've still been teaching on my travels virtually, still been doing my stuff.
Amazing.
And so this tree at my my Aunt Julie's, so I've been teaching under this tree.
Mm,
I call it my tree office. And so, you know, my business called Wylde Voices,
mm,
my logo, I wanted it to be a tree with roots, probably finding like some kind of Celtic tree, a tree with a woman being the trunk singing. And so I've been teaching under this tree, and my friend took a picture of me, and I'm sitting in front of it, and my head is coming out of the thing, which is so
wow.
great. Um,
Oh, you're so
so
excited. I love it.
Oh, and sure enough, you know, the lessons I've been doing this week have been on fire. And this is where I'm at. This is what's really interesting. Every time something comes up in my field where I think that I want to get a certification or get
Yeah.
my master's or whatever, like it literally just came up earlier today about a new breathing, a somatic breathing certification. And like
Mm,
something just told me no. And
mm.
that's so hard for me. And it doesn't mean I won't ever get a certification for the rest of my
No.
life, or I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I understand. Yeah.
But right now, the downloads that I'm getting from living in each moment, from visiting all these natural
Mm,
places, from uh, every lake that I've passed, I would have to go swimming. I just knew it. I knew that's where the information is that I need. Being in these
mm.
trees, walking, you know, like even sleeping in a camper van that I've never done before, and bartending these festivals, and um, making out with this very sexy man that I met randomly at like,
Wow.
and then crying about it when it didn't work out. But like, that is the
Mm,
beauty. That is like,
mm,
so this is where I've been training even further, and I can feel it. And then so something else that's really huge is there were a lot of fires happening here over the past few weeks. And also, oddly enough, I haven't been sick in like 6 years. 6 years. Bartended the music festival, had a place to stay for a week, and I got sick for the first time in 6 years. And it
mm.
hit me really hard only for 2 days. And I had pine needle tea. I had all this stuff. I like murdered it.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say that about viruses, because we have this thing about demonizing viruses, and they're not. They
We
are
need
helping
them. Your
us
body's like,
evolve.
oh, I'm in this new place now. Probably a bit. Think about the environment of a bartender. You haven't been back in that environment either.
Yes.
And epigenetics. I
Yes.
mean, Dr. Bruce Lipton is brilliant
Yes.
because it's not just our something might change in our intake. There might be more alcohol. There might be and our body's like, oh no, detox mode. And that's it. Like we have to be kind. There's no shame in it. But then
Yes.
people label it, slap on. Oh, well, we know that, but I don't know.
Yeah. So I sat with it, whatever it was. I
Mm,
welcomed it. I said, okay, whatever you want to do. And I talked to my body the whole way through. What do
yeah.
you need from me? I feel
Mm,
you. I feel what you're doing. I'm grateful for what you're doing right now. I knew it was an upgrade, and
yeah.
I just sat with it.
Totally.
I took a million Epsom salt baths and everything. And then when I felt it, when I came out of it, when I got better, I
Mm,
thanked my body profusely. I
mm.
acknowledged it. I've never done that before after being sick. I've never thanked my body for doing what if for getting bringing me back to homeostasis.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I thanked it, and I was just so in awe of what it's capable of doing, and the fact that it just wants to bring me back into health. And then,
Yeah.
but what's interesting, my lungs were still a little raw after
Mm,
it. And then the smoke was really horrible from the fires.
mhm.
And so my lungs couldn't catch a break. And then
Yeah.
I completely lost my voice
Wow.
in it too. And I haven't lost my voice in a long time.
Oh, I'm like,
And
what does that mean? What does that mean? What's the
exact,
metaphysics?
yeah. So my voice, right, is very extremely, I'm always extremely sensitive of it, far more than like the average person, the most person. I'm always like right on it, right on, like what's going on. Uh, um, so it was a whole new level of surrender,
I was just gonna say surrender.
whole new
I had
level.
that word, surrender, and the fact that you know this, like this is it.
I know.
It's
I
almost like we
know.
don't need to be told. We know what to do when
We
these things
do.
come up. We
We
surrender, we allow it, and
do.
blah, blah, blah. It's actually really simple,
It is.
isn't it?
It is so simple. It
We
is.
complicate
We
everything.
really do.
Trying to fix it and trying to do all this stuff. And it's actually just allowing. It is allowing
Yes.
life, the experience, because there is no time. We're moving through it. The experience of, I can't even explain it. And I don't fully understand. I'm not claiming to fully understand, but it's like
Yeah.
we are it. We are the experience.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we're moving
Yes.
through time, kind
Yes.
of. And it's like, oh, this is happening. And if we just
Oh.
allow it, that's when it goes away. And then we got the next thing and the next thing. No resistance. It's no resistance, I
Mm-mm.
think, isn't it? The
Mm-mm.
path of least
Mm-mm.
resistance. And then we're just flowing through life like this. And we're just finding the whole thing beautiful.
Yeah. That is. That is it. And going back to what you're talking about, our businesses and with my business, no resistance, no
Yeah.
worry or fear about letting it just happen organically. You
Yeah.
know, my logo is a
And this time
tree,
last year.
so I better let it
Yeah.
grow like a tree. A tree, I don't need to be telling the tree to, you better grow faster. Like the tree's
I
gonna
know.
grow.
Well, I think I told you it was last summer that I had these. Last summer was the biggest thing for me. And not only was I sort of active, we were all getting activated, but the tree spoke to me in my garden. I heard this thing. I was, again, with my business, I was trying to do these high-end things, copying everyone else and, all of this
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And the tree said, well, it was just a very clear message.
Mm.
It said, look at me. I am not lacking anything. It's all
Mm.
here now. Like, there's nothing you need to do but be. And I just received, I mean, I don't know if it's a tree, I like to think it was, but it was just,
Yeah.
I got it on a deeper level of, just, like exactly what we were saying just now. Just even with
Yeah.
the business side of things, just stop trying to be something. I was trying to prove myself,
Yes.
trying to be this,
Yes.
and I was
Yes.
comparing, getting
Yes.
treated by everyone that was doing what I thought I could do, until I just thought, wipe up. It was like, imagine a table full of all the old rules. I literally smashed that up,
Yes.
and I thought, I
Yes.
am making my own freaking rules now, and that this is it. I'm me. The rules are be me. That's it.
I'm the rule.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. And it's I think probably one of the most important messages for people at the moment from me is that connection to the thing that you said, whatever you want to call it. It's knowing that, especially at this time when it's chaotic
Yes.
out there on the movie screen,
Yes.
constantly
Yes.
noticing our triggers and honoring them, but
Yes.
constantly coming back to, I'm fully supported.
Yes.
I am supported with food, like our
Yes.
reality. We can,
Yes.
no matter what's happening with the neighbors. And I think of the Celestine prophecy with this, because I've never read the book. I need to, but I watched the film, and it's for everything's frequency. There's a reason why someone, for instance, in a prison, like random example, but the door might be left open by accident and that one person manages to escape. It's like that
Yes.
little thing can happen. When we're in our center, we don't panic. When we panic,
Yes.
we can receive the next piece of information we need, even if
Yes.
in a bad
Yes.
situation. So that
Yes.
calmness and centeredness means
Yes.
that we hear and
Yes.
act, and therefore
Yes.
receive the food. And
Yes.
we're always provided
Yes.
for when we're connected to that source, whatever energy, whatever you want to call it.
Yes. So I'd like to bring, so my mantra, whether it's my mantra or whether it really is a voice, something talking to me, but
Yeah.
over the past month and a half, I'd say, I, anytime I go to the future, anytime I feel a little bit of fear or anxious or something happens, that rolls out that starts freaking me out, I hear the words loudly in my head, how much do you trust?
Wow, yeah.
How much do you trust? So I hear this going on in repeat. This entire trip has been, how much do you trust? And, you know, I have friends in Los Angeles is getting weird right now. There's some weird stuff going on. And I have friends who live in LA who are going through, you know, fighting some stuff and whatever. And I'll see that on my social media. And there's a little bit of like, oh, I should be there with them and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, or whatever. And it's like, or what's going to happen? How much do you trust? How much do you really trust? So if I trust this, if my belief system is really that, on something small, if my belief system is that, you know, my rent will be taken care of this week or this month, if I believe that, then no matter what is going on in the outer world, no matter how weird it looks, no matter what is going on, do I believe that that same creative force that has never failed me before, that has kept me alive, that has kept me moving on everything, do I really trust that it will take care of me in every moment, provide no matter what is going on in the outside world, no matter what anybody else is saying?
Totally, totally. And that's my first thing I do when I wake up in the morning. It's like, well, I actually say the word spirit within, show me what I need to know today.
Yes.
Show me. And then sometimes even when I get frustrated, I'm like, show me then. Show me. And sometimes I demand. I'm like, well, you know, if you show me, like, and then you just wait and just watch and be aware, and then you're off again. And it's just that, but it's that, because this is bigger than us. And even though I believe we have dropped in at this time for this huge flipping, you know, shift in consciousness, that I don't even think we comprehend how big this is. Like, this is big. It's not even, there's no word. This is big.
Yes.
And yet, we can't do it alone.
Yes.
Like, we can't think that, oh, well, you know, this is bigger than us, and we're being guided all of the time. I believe we have a team. We have a whole team. And at the moment, I'm just like, come on then, team, show me. And it's in, it can be instant now. It's almost magical, actually, because the veil is gone.
Yes.
Well, this is, don't, you know, take what resonates, because don't listen to me.
Yeah.
But I believe, I don't want people to listen to what I say or anyone says. But I believe the veil is gone, because all that's left is patterns, habits, thought processes, you know.
Yes.
But actually, we can receive more
instantly
than ever.
Yes. And here's another thing. Here's also another thing I feel like too, is not only am I receiving moment to moment, but also there are times when something about the future comes up, and then I feel anxious that I don't know what that future outcome is. And the even bigger thing for me is, you don't need to know that yet. If you're not being given it in this moment, it's because you don't need to know it in this moment.
Yeah.
That has been huge.
And that's surrender. Like, that is actually releasing. And I don't know about you. Were you like quite a controlling person?
Big time. Big time.
Yeah. I've been a controlling, very masculine, controlling woman. And I'm like, this is beautiful. But this is part of that beauty and that femininity and that allowing and that grace and that flow and that, you know, just all of it, just not needing to know, releasing control and surrendering. I just think, and nice, it's not tiring. That's why I have more energy, because I'm not wasting my energy worrying and trying to control and make things happen. It's like, whew, I mean, I'm not saying life is complete unicorns and roses, you know, but what it's almost like this with the energies going on. But I'm literally, I feel like I'm on that roller coaster just going, yeah.
Yes. Well, that was another epiphany for me. That was another epiphany last year, when I was feeling like bogged down and like, oh, why is this happening? Oh, it's scary and everything. And then I realized, okay, number one, is this a simulation, or however you want to, whatever simulation means, whatever
Yeah,
it means,
yeah,
right?
I
Who
know what you
cares?
mean.
Who cares what that means?
Doesn't
But
matter.
then I thought, you know, if you're on a roller coaster that's going, that's on a drop, a major drop, and your eyes are closed and you don't know, you think you're free falling, so it's terrifying.
Mm.
You open your eyes and you see that you're on a roller coaster. So the difference is it's the exact same feeling experience going on, right? But is it terrifying you? Do you think you're about to die? Or is it exciting and fun? And are you like screaming at the top of your lungs out of
That's
joy?
exactly right, isn't
That's
it?
exactly,
We've got a choice
we've
between
got a
fear
choice.
and, well, it's cheesy,
Always.
but yeah, it is.
Always.
And I think that's why our voices are needed more than ever at the moment, having these conversations, because most people know this.
But it's
Well, I
hard
say
to,
people, way showers, whatever you want to. I've
yeah.
actually dropped the word light worker now because it doesn't feel good to me. Because actually, I'm in the like I am like a dark warrior. I'm not. I
Yes.
don't really want that label. It's not
Same.
wrong. It's not.
Same.
It's like it's been like a lighthouse. It's been needed because it
Yes.
kind of is just a label where people can
Yes.
wage showers, whatever
Yes.
you want to call it. People
Yeah.
who understand what's happening right now
Yes.
on a more cosmic level. The reason why our voices are so important is for that activation, because the resonance, even my mum or someone, you know, like, or, you know, people that not necessarily we think we might judge as asleep and all of that, it is still planting seeds. There's still a resonance there because the truth is a knowing. Like, the truth is a knowing, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the more we talk about it, the more people are
Yes.
just, and at some point it's going to just land, you know, it's going to just
Yes.
land. The same as with us, you know, this time last
Yes.
year we were completely different people, and
Yes.
and now, and then, you know, next month we're going to look back on, we're shifting so quickly. I'm
Yes.
just like, look at me,
Yeah.
I didn't react to that thing, and that doesn't bother me anymore, and I'm not doing, and it's so quick. In fact, I don't know whether you're experiencing this, I'm crying a lot at the moment, in a good way, because I love to cry. Like, to
Yes.
think that I used to never want to put songs on because in case I had a low vibration, you know, in case I was sad, that's what. And
Yeah.
now I just love to just, you know, do
Oh,
whatever. But I'm getting grief. I feel sometimes like I'm having grief for how quickly it's moving. And so I'm
yes.
almost grieving what's going. I'm like, oh no, drama, come back. You know, am I ready for utopia? I don't know.
Oh, man, yeah. I feel the same way of that, grieving that old self in a way,
Hmm.
because this is so new. Um, but then also kind of going back to what you're talking about how you would judge yourself about the sad songs or like the low vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say the coolest thing about the spiritual journey and what I've been seeing, like where I've been coming to, where I can see that you're on, like you're right there too, is the things on my spiritual journey that I used to consider low vibration, that I was either afraid of or didn't allow in my life, like little things. So like take for instance, like something like online dating, like Bumble or Tinder or something,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
anything, all these things that I was like, no, that's low vibration. No, I'm higher and blah, blah,
That
blah. And
voice.
so it's been so funny to just really experience my humanness so much, to the point that even when I've been up in Montana, I've been like, I'm going to try Bumble again just because I want to see what's up here. And like,
Yeah, get those
no,
hunters. Get those
no,
hunters.
no, seriously,
I know. Well, oh,
seriously. The alphas that are up here or whatever, I don't know how many of them you could call divine masculine. Again, even the whole divine feminine, divine masculine, like I feel so feminine, but I don't even care about whether you want to call it divine or not, just like so in my body.
yeah. It's
um
losing attachment even to that. Even the word
to
spiritual
anything.
won't exist one day, because when we know
Yeah.
who we actually are, everything's spiritual. It
Yeah.
means in spirit. It means inspired. We're
Yeah.
inspired in spirit. So
Yeah.
that's all passing away. It's all going to be.
Yes.
Do you know, I
Yeah.
saw something earlier, because I know you mentioned Lionsgate on the story, and I saw something
Yeah.
by a friend of mine who lives in Glastonbury. Um, and it was basically calling out the whole Lionsgate thing, saying, well, this is just, and I thought, you know what, I do it because it feels like it's,
Good.
you could, yeah, it feels
Yeah.
good. And
Yummy.
but at the same time, it's like I said something about a twin flame this way. I'm actually questioning all dogma. And I don't mind whether it's true or not.
Same.
I'm like, I don't actually care if it's true or not. Like, I don't
Yeah.
need to believe it, because it's
Yeah.
almost like it doesn't not going to affect me, because, and I'm not going to preach at anyone and say you shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that. But it's like, I
Yeah.
don't know whether I need any of these Lionsgate meditations today. I mean, I haven't really done one. Should I have done one? Doesn't that make actually? I don't really need to do that. I don't really
Yeah.
need, and so I'm just questioning it. Do I need that? Do I need that? Because everything we've been talking about, that's the
Yes.
real, that's the
Yes.
real life and the experience,
Yes.
and there's no
Yes.
dogma there.
I haven't even been meditating.
No, I haven't meditated for a long time. But that's because we're in a walking
Our a
meditation
day,
most of the time.
walking meditation. The only time I really meditated while I've been up here was after I went swimming in that stunning lake, and I was listening to the waves, and it inspired me to sit on the rock and just listen to the waves and like sit and meditate. And it's the
Yeah, yeah,
longest I've meditated in a long time.
yeah.
But otherwise, I used to force myself to meditate every morning. That was another thing. Like, I have to do this and I have to.
Yeah, miracle morning.
Ah.
Yeah. For me
And
now,
now,
it's dance. It is dance is my
yes,
medicine. It is
yes,
moving my body. It's my
yes,
self pleasure practice. It's like this breath. It's breath, sound, and movement. It's these simple, natural things that I've coming back to, and it's changed my life. Like it's only
yes,
been 4 months that I've been diving deep.
yes,
And last week I did a contact dance class type thing, where you actually getting intimate with other humans, men and women. Oh my God,
yes.
I wanted to die at first, because I'm just like, ugh. So, this fear of intimacy. But we're going even
Yes.
closer into me. See, we are eventually going to head to being a
Yes.
telepathic race. Being
Yes.
open is it. Being seen, being unafraid to
Yes.
be seen by men and
Yes.
women. So anyway, that's a
Yes.
whole different subject. But it's scary, but it's exhilarating, and it's exciting, and it's so
Yes.
beautiful.
Oh, so I have to tell you something about that. When I went to that lake, I went back to that lake twice because it was something magical there. And I went and found this spot where I was pretty much all by myself. And I was like, I want to do a nude photo shoot here.
Yeah, is that
But
what
it
I
felt
saw?
so it felt so terrifying. And then here's what's interesting is then these two girls come up on a rock over yonder. I haven't used that word in forever.
I love it.
That felt good. That felt
Montana
great.
girl.
Um, and and they were kind of, I could tell their energy. I was like, oh, how much longer are they going to be here? And then I could tell that they were feeling the same way about me. And I was like, huh. Then I noticed they pull out shampoo. They were like bathing in the lake. And then I noticed they were doing like something weird. And I'm like, oh my God, they're getting in the lake naked. And
Oh,
so they were waiting
amazing.
for me to leave so they could get nude. And I was
Mm.
waiting for them to leave. And then I called over to them and I was like, hey, I was going to do a nude photo shoot. Would you feel weird about? They're like, oh, yay. We were just about to go skinny dipping. We didn't know if you'd feel weird about that. And then so I did my little photo shoot and then I joined them. Never met these two girls. They're just these awesome women from Spokane, Washington. And I went skinny dipping with these women I've never met before. And it
Oh my
felt
God, that's amazing.
so ancient and
Yes.
so like
Goosebumps. Oh my God, that's
I
amazing.
know. I know. So I think I want to be naked with other women in nature as much as possible. I'm feeling
Totally.
like
Well,
we
I'm
need
doing
that
that at the
healing.
moment.
I
Well,
know.
not so much in nature at the moment, but I had
Doesn't matter. Who cares if it,
funny
but
sharing on here. Well, in a sauna, an infrared sauna, with a guy today. Like, I was naked with the guy, and that's like big for me. It's big for me. I'm not gonna share too much on here, but I'm like, whoa, and it felt amazing. I just felt
yes.
amazing. This is me. I've come from having body issues, but it's almost like the only way is through, guys. Like, I've got to do it now. And it's just
Yes.
but yeah, in nature even better, and in water, in open water.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
so yummy. It's so yummy.
So my biggest thing now is all of the aspects of life that we've been made to feel really terrified about, shameful about. So our naked bodies, being
Mhm.
loud,
Oh my God, yes, loudness.
sexuality, all of the things that we've been made to feel the most scared about, the most shamed about, regret about, are the things that I believe give us the most power. So that's why
Totally.
they've
Totally.
been controlled.
Totally. And it's so simple. It's just so,
It's so
it's so simple. All of the everything. I mean, we could, yeah, we need to do more of this because it's so
yes.
important. This is so
Our naked
important.
bodies, dancing and using our
Wildness.
voices.
And losing
Yes.
shame with sexuality as well, even
Yes.
within,
Yes.
oh God, this is big because I'm on the verge of like, I've been scared of how wild I could be.
Mm.
Like, because the power that comes with it is terrifying. Well, it's not terrifying. I know that it's so, it's like that Marianne Williamson quote. Well, we've been quoting it for years, haven't we? But I'm starting
Yes.
to fully understand it.
Well,
Oh
if you
my
think
God,
about
I
it,
am so powerful that I'm
we're
scared of that.
yeah, well, where that fear is coming from, if you think about it, whether you believe in past lives or whether it's your ancestors, we all come from ancestors who have been killed for being too powerful, for being like, so we have that in our lineage, all of us.
Mm.
So we have to deal with that fear. We have to deal with that sensation, that fear of being killed for being too powerful, for speaking your truth, for being naked, for being branded as like a horrible sexual being or woman in particular,
I'm
right? Or
still
like,
on this. I'm still on this because of this sexual awakening, and I'm seeing everything as sexual at the moment. And I think it's funny because I've just like, oh my God, all the time. And I want to talk about that. And I'm thinking, if I talk about sex all the time, people are going to think this and I can hear that voice going on of that
yes,
shame for being a sexual woman.
yes,
But I haven't told you
yes.
this, but I tapped into a past life the other day because in this room that I go into, this community center that we're building, there's such another thing. There's so much
Mm.
happening at the moment. But I tapped into this past life where I found myself on the floor in the middle of this chaotic dance with my hand on my neck. I was like, I suddenly realized, what am I doing? And I realized that I tapped into a life. I mean, whether or not I'm making this up, I don't care. I was having this experience. So, do you know,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter whether
yeah,
it's true or not. It might not be true. But for
exactly,
me, it was,
exactly.
why was I thinking this? I was murdered by 4 women. Because I was asking why I don't feel safe to be sexual. And I saw it very clearly. I wasn't triggered. I just saw it and I was like, wow, that's why. I was murdered
Whoa.
for being in my power. And it was I was under a bush, blah, blah, blah. I had this, I won't bore you with it, but it was
Oh,
so
that's
potent.
wow.
And there was so much happen in that dance. I ended up taking my clothes off and dancing for the first time with these women. And I'm sure probably some of the women were present as well because that room was so powerful. But it was just like, yeah, of course. And I just did that in that second by me just taking my top off. I and
Yes.
did all that. Like I literally, it was like just deleted that. It's safe for me to be sexual. I'm still on the journey with it.
Yes.
But it's, yeah, we shove it down, don't we? We shove it down. It's too much. And now
Yes.
we're learning how to harness it. I like what you said earlier about not having to act on that desire.
Yeah.
Often it's like, let's use this energy for, it's our creative force.
Yes.
This is how we can literally stand in the forest and go.
Yes. Yes. That's why I believe it has been controlled and made to be shameful because it's so
Totally.
much more.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
It really is we have huge amounts of power. Our sexual energy is huge amounts of power.
Massive, yeah. I'm just worried that my phone's gonna run out. That's why I'm fiddling with my phone now.
Okay, no worries. Actually, I'm going to use this as an excuse to run inside because it is cold.
Oh, nice it. Oh. Right. I'm gonna just plug in just here. Sit right on the floor.
Yeah, I'm going to go downstairs for a little bit. Woo-hoo.
Well,
It
maybe
felt
we
good
could
though.
Yeah, maybe we should finish this anyway and then just do another one soon. And I'd
Oh, I would love that.
us to talk about this more. This is what, so I just want to say something else about my journey and how I've only just started this. You know, this is quite fresh and new, and it seems to be carrying on. But for instance, like the breath, and I watch you dance and everything, and like you amaze me with everything you're doing. And I'm not at that point yet, and I really want to be, but I'm not at that point yet, and I know it's going to come.
Yes.
But there are many, many women in my field that are not even. That, at the moment, I found myself when I breathe, I'm often like, I wouldn't have dared do that. Like, you know, maybe last year, a couple of years ago, I wouldn't even breathe loudly. Like I wouldn't make those sounds.
Yeah.
It's like the sexual sounds to me.
Yes.
Like I was saying about the anger, it's like or eating a fruit and like all of this stuff. We're just so silent, and that's where you know, the voice. We're just silent with sound.
Yes.
We don't breathe
Yes.
properly, and
Yes.
breath is like magical healing.
Yes.
You know, breath work has
Yes.
been doing. Not only does it release DMT in your brain. I was high when I first did it. I did an hour of this,
Yes.
like
Yes.
massively conscious breath work, and I was high after, and so now I'm like, oh,
Yes.
goodness, DMT. I've never looked at psychedelics, but that's actually what was happening naturally in me. And last week we had this huge day. And I was high all day. Like I was high all day. I've never, and that's what I used to drink and dance for. That buzz that I had
Yes.
through my
Yes.
natural practices. It's amazing.
I would love to yeah, let's do a few more minutes. I'd love to jump on that and say okay. So oh, going back to what I was talking about, what has been controlled for made us or what we've made to be what we have been made to feel shamed about, or you know,
Yeah.
one of the huge things is the voice. I absolutely believe that we can heal ourselves using our voice. Our voice is this is and I'm I have so much more so much more that I'm going down in this whole voice aspect, and learning about the origins of language and the origins of us making sound. And there are so many anthropologists that believe that human beings were just singers. We just made song before we even spoke language. So all of these powerful things, and I really believe that the biggest control systems have been over our voices, because our voices are hugely powerful. Think about it. Like even the whole thing about what they talk about witches or people casting spells. Every word we speak is a spell, in a sense that we are creating reality with the words and the thoughts, the words that we speak, the thoughts that we think, always. So if our voices are controlled, then it controls us. So I believe controlling our naked bodies, controlling our sexuality, and controlling our voices. And whether I'm done even saying they are trying to control us, whatever. But whatever has kept us, that's where I believe our deep power is. So talking about the breath and voice, the more that I've been practicing this breathing, number one, I feel high after every voice lesson I give. Which is, I am high all the time. I'm constantly high, which is amazing.
You are you're living your purpose.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, you are else that you're here to do. Like this is your work, isn't it?
It is. This is what I came here to do. And that's a whole other thing. I would love in our next conversation to kind of talk about how we've gotten here, which could be really fun. But my whole path with my life, or with my voice, is I'm here for a reason. I went through a lot of deep, dark stuff with my voice, went through a lot of lineage stuff. And for me, kind of like the vision you had, I can tell that I've been strangled to death.
Wow.
Okay, I'll come up in 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna meet more family. But I know that I've been strangled to death in a past life, and there for a long time, I could feel dark ancestors who did not want me speaking out, who did not want me to be loud, grabbing me by the neck. There are times I've had to feel like I'm prying these hands off of my neck. I've
Mm.
always had horrible neck aches. I've always had issues with breathing and throat issues, and actually it runs in my family. A lot of people have had issues with their lungs and throats and everything. And
Mm.
stutters, a
Wow.
lot of it's big time lineage stuff. So the more that I've been working through this, that's how I came into this superpower or whatever. I feels like I stepped into a power or something, only
Yeah.
because I had to work through all this. So going back to breathing, if you regulate your breath, you regulate your nervous system, and that means anything is at your fingertips.
Mm.
It's all about regulating our nervous system. And I want to kind of say, and I believe that that's why I'm at where I'm at in my life. That's why nothing scares me. That's why I now have started following all those people again that last year I stopped following because they made me feel afraid. I can go on social media now
Oh.
forever. How long? No,
Mm.
like everything. I'm like, okay, whatever. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but
And
so the other
that's
night,
big
oh,
deal.
huge. The other night, I went to a bar. I wanted to meet the people in this small town in Idaho. Had one drink. They were trying to buy me shots, and they were disgusting shots. So I was like pouring them in a planter next to me.
Fun.
So I had one shot. I sang karaoke, even with my voice gone. I was like, I don't care. Like it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I got in my friend's camper van that I was driving, and I started driving in the small town I'd never been in before, and I got pulled over for the first time. Oh, I haven't been pulled over in 7 years. The police officer asked me where I came from. I told him a bar. He asked how much I drank. I said one drink. And he asked me to step out and gave me a sobriety test. I've never had a sobriety test. Living
Wow.
in LA, bartending for 13 years, having been dumb and driving drunk like in my 20s or tipsy, right?
Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
And so he gave me a sobriety test, and I noticed, but I had only had one drink, so but I was there with him, and I was above observing.
What?
I was observing in this situation, this scary, I've never been in it before. And I was just there, present with it all, and had already come to an acceptance. Like, even if something weird happened and it turns out that, he thinks I'm drunk and takes me to jail, oh well. Like, it was the weirdest. And
Wow.
I also didn't realize that I was breathing like this.
Just really slowly or through your mouth. Just
Very slowly and deep into my lower belly. And it just kicked in because I do it so much every day now that I didn't even know that I was doing it.
that would take your emotional state, and
Just kept it
it would
there.
basically be no electrical charge in your system, no triggers going on. So
None.
if there's a slight trigger, then it can direct the reality. And yeah, it's almost like, yeah, that's a really important thing
Yes.
for me to think about, because there's a lot of things. Oh, too much to say now, but yeah, that's a really important thing.
Yeah.
That when we, and that shows how important our breath is. And
Yes.
you can't do that when you're
No.
properly.
No. I believe that my changing my breath is one of the biggest things that has changed my life,
And
because
like,
we are breath,
yeah,
right?
well,
That's
it's
what our
the life.
spirit
That's the
is.
that is it. That is it.
Yeah.
And And imagine, I'm just thinking now about, because I'm obsessed with, like, I keep saying, show me how I create my reality. Show me. Because not
Yes.
not in a controlling way. I just want to know because it's
Yeah.
fun. And I'm
Yeah.
waking up. We're all waking up.
Yes.
Show me how I create this. Like, not that I don't even want to create, you know, like the millions of pounds that I used to want to. I just want to know how
Yes.
to continue this. And that, I just feel that's a really important bit of information for me. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. Can I just say something about orgasm
Yes.
randomly?
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
Only because it's been something that I've been practicing. I'm just going to share because I've been practicing it, and it's like maybe it's a bit too much information, but it's okay.
No, please
So
share.
just before an orgasm,
Mm-hmm.
if you again, because you're relaxing. So in the old days, it was like squeezing one out, like it was almost like intense to trying to for an
Yeah.
outcome.
Yes.
Now it's relax and just
Yes.
very, very slow breathing. So if
Yes.
you empty it just before, if you're really, really present just before, if you empty your breath out and then slowly breathing as you start to have an orgasm,
Yes.
slowly breathe in, breathing slowly. So make it last, and then hold your breath at the top. The orgasm, it
Yes.
literally is
It is.
multi-orgasm. You can take it all the way up, like with your breath basically, and just playing with this,
Yes.
it is absolutely immense. And I'm just like, oh my god, it's not just
Yes.
multi-orgasmic, but
It's like
you can move it through your entire field.
so you want to hear something crazy?
No, I love it. Well,
I do it. I do
oh,
that.
oh, that's so good. Well,
I
I've just figured it out myself. I'm just
yeah.
like, oh, if I do it slow and then hold it, it just prolongs it, rather these puny little ones that you know in the past that were like
Yes.
4 second bang.
The forced ones. I also it's been a while since it's been with somebody, but I've been learning this too. There's also moaning and humming that you can do to also, that's another whole exploration with it too.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, I know. We're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to do a conversation about this.
Yeah,
That
or
would be
maybe a
really
little
cool.
series because I mean,
Yes,
it's only because at the moment it's on my mind a lot, the whole sex thing.
I
But
would love
yeah,
to.
just a little series on that, and not trying to even teach, but just like sharing this
Yes,
information because people there's lots of stuff out there, but it's actually putting it into practice, isn't it? It's just so good.
yes. And you know what's really beautiful is the same practice. This is what I've been learning because I've been talking to a lot of doulas and I'm very obsessed about this and I'm getting ready. I really want to have kids in the next couple of years, but surrendering, trusting, but also
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
hey, I want it too. um,
Mm-hmm.
but the exact same techniques that make orgasms so explosive also help in
Yeah,
childbirth.
totally.
Exact same.
Totally. I had my son in this room in the
Mm,
pool the second time, and the noises I made. Well, first of all, you
yes.
don't have bright lights on and and blue gloves. It is literally the
Yes.
same environment and the sounds.
Yes.
It's like that
Yes.
your body makes sounds. You don't control
Yes.
them. Your body's
Yes.
so like,
Yes.
it's like a
Yes.
like nothing I've ever experienced in my life.
Mm.
And that's beautiful. Oh, goodness. Can I just say, I interrupted you a little bit. What happened with the policeman?
Oh, he
You
did.
breathed and you saw
He
yourself. Did he just let you? Was it
he
all?
he did the little test, and I was just there with him, and just kind of enjoying the process. A little scared, and a little excited, and a little like, okay, why? What is this? And then like this. Then when he felt okay about me or whatever, he goes, sorry, I just had to do that because sometimes people lie to us. And then he goes, where was it that you were trying to go to, ma'am? And just switched. And I was like, oh, I was just
Reality
really,
shift.
I was really hungry. Where was I? Is there somewhere to eat? And he goes, oh, well, if you want to go blah, blah, blah. And he was like, so sweet. And just like, if you go on this street and there, it's the best Mexican food. Don't go to that one. Go to this one. And I was like, thank you, officer. Thank you, officer.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
just knew it. That's it. That's the key. It's that
It is
breath.
a big thing. Yeah. And I think it's the thing is that we wouldn't ever know the opposite. So say that we were in situations and we do that. and it ends in a
Yes.
good way, you wouldn't
Yes.
know any other way. But actually,
Yes.
it's a good thing to be aware of when something maybe does go a bit Pete Tong, which
Yes.
wrong. Um, if you didn't do that, you think, oh, I didn't do my breathing. I didn't breathe. Yeah,
Yeah. But whatever, it's also the whole
it is whatever, isn't it?
yeah, yuckiness of it, anything. It was just really cool to observe that and to watch that my body just kicked in. I wasn't thinking of it. My body was just like, oh, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to regulate our nervous system. And I was like, okay,
Mm.
I see
Oh,
you.
so good, so good.
Okay, I better go meet
Mm.
family, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yes, thank you for this. It's been
Thank
gorgeous.
you.
Have a lovely time. I will I'll be in touch. I'll message you. And thank you everyone for
Yeah.
watching. There's a lovely comment
Yes.
as well. Right.
I can't wait to do this again soon. I love
Yeah.
it so much. You're
Oh,
so incredible. I'm
you
so
are.
glad
You're
that we
incredible.
have found each other again, or
Mhm.
whatever, whatever
Yeah.
capacity. And I love you. I
I
do.
love
I
you
love your
too.
heart and everything about
Oh,
you.
I love you too. Oh,
Okay.
have a lovely day.
Talk to you
Take
soon,
care.
telepathically or whatever.